Today I want to talk about the 7 deadly sins of having a busy mind. And why it's really important to recognize that having this busy mind that many of us think, particularly men, is really important because it's our value base. It's like if we're always busy, we're always thinking, we're always doing things, then this is how we get rewarded, because if people see us doing this at work, then we must be really good at what we do. We must be really committed. Therefore, we're going to earn more money. We're going to keep our job, whatever it may be. Or if you're a business leader, you're an entrepreneur, your team thinks, wow, this person's always got things going on. They're always on top of things. Well, I want to share with you today that having a busy mind is not as good as you think it is. Okay? So there are 2 points here. One is that we want to use our thinking mind, our analytical mind, our logical mind, and you'll have heard me talk about this before, for things like strategy, for operations, for decision making, when we need to use that. We also need to use our intuition. We need to tap into our feelings and our emotions when we also want to feel about how things are working out for us. So when we're in this constant state of this overworked busy mind, actually, whilst we might think we're getting an endorphin hit or a dopamine hit or we're getting an adrenaline rush, we can't sustain that forever. It's useful for certain things, but we cannot sustain it forever. Imagine that you're Usain Bolt trying to win the 100 meters, right? And so you're sprinting. But when you get 100 meters, it's done, it's finished. You're not going to continue going for another 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. You cannot sustain the same pace for a long time. What happens is you burn out. So what are those 7 deadly sins? 1, you miss opportunities. You're constantly in that lane. You're constantly just focusing on the particular issue at hand or all these other things which are going on in your mind. So you begin to miss what's going on around you. You're only seeing what's in front of you. You make poor decisions because you're not tapping into your intuition. You're having no time for reflection. That's the second one. Third one, you're burning energy much faster than you would otherwise do. Imagine again Usain Bolt. You cannot sustain that pace. You will burn out faster. You might be very successful in the lane you're in for a limited amount of time. But I promise you, if you are one of those people who thrives on just having a busy mind, it's not going to last forever. The other thing, it's very hard to relax. I've done many meditation retreats. And one thing I know is when people come in and they say, I've got a really busy mind, I'm always thinking, they think that's a power base. That is the antithesis of what we want to do when we want to be in a reflective state where we can make good decisions, right? So not being relaxed is not a quality that you want. Also, it means that if we know that, say, you've got 70,000 odd thoughts a day, maybe 70 or 80% of them are negative, how many of those thoughts, if you have a busy mind, are actually helping you and how many of those are actually hindering you? How much of that is limiting beliefs and fear-based? I must do this because otherwise someone's going to think that this is going to happen. I must do this because other people are expecting me to do that, or I promise that, or I must do this because it's the only way that I know of staying ahead. That is a negative limiting belief. It's not good for you. Not having no time for reflection. That's the 5th deadly sin. No time for reflection. Why do we want reflection? So that we can tap into our intuition, so that we can give our time, our bodies time to heal from the stress we're putting on them by having this incredibly busy mind. Slowing down is one of the core factors that all of the top 1% of the great leaders, most successful people know, is when to charge ahead and when to slow down. There are different gears. You do not stay in one gear the whole time. The other thing, and this is really, really important, particularly if you're a leader or if you have a family, is you're not present. And present, when I say present, I don't mean that you can be in a room with somebody. That is not being present. Being present is the fact that I'm focused, I'm looking at you, I'm actually listening and observing to what you're saying. And that ties into the 7th deadliest sin, is you stop observing. So number 1 was you miss opportunities. Why do you miss opportunities? Because number 7 kicks in, you're not looking at what's going on around you. And you're not being present to what's going on around. So all you're doing is talking, talk, but there's no listening. Because if you want to be truly successful in every aspect of life, you need to learn to be a better observer, not just a talker. So I hope that helps. I hope you begin to understand that having a busy mind is sometimes useful, but you cannot sustain that gear and that pace forever because you will fall over. Okay, hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget, subscribe below if you've enjoyed it, if it's resonated with you. I hope that helps. Thanks very much. Bye.